Hey guys, what's going on? Your old buddy Tim back in the Revolved Realty studio. Today on the video, we are continuing our discussion on the top 20 or so things you should keep in mind when you are fixing up a house, either to live in or to flip. And we're going to talk about that coming up. Hey guys, good afternoon. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Your old buddy Tim back in the Revolved Realty studio talking about the 20 or so things you need to keep in mind if you are considering to buy a house, either to flip or to fix up to live in. And, it's kind of becoming the popular dream now with all the TV shows, the flipper flops, the fixer uppers, that sort of thing. Folks want to buy a house, take on the challenge of getting it all fixed up, either to live in or to flip and make a whole bunch of money. As you know, things do not always go as they appear to on TV. So that's why we're talking about this, the top 20, 21 or so things that you need to keep in mind. Now, this is video number 2. In the first video, talked about being realistic with your scope of work, the amount of work the property needs. And we also talked about your budget, the money, how it's important to set a budget, count every penny, and try to stick to it so you don't overrun your budget. Today on the video, we're going to talk about the calendar, the timeline of a project. Now, if you are just fixing up a property that you're going to live in, you might not be under the gun so much to get it done quickly. You may already have a home and you're just fixing that up and you're going to move into it once you're done. But if you are doing this as an investment where you have bought a property, you are going to fix it up, you're going to flip it, hopefully make some money on it, well, then your calendar becomes much more important because you have things like the mortgage on the property. You've got carrying costs like insurance, that sort of thing. So it may be that you want to get it done quicker. You know, what we generally do is at least me in my perfect world, is buy a house, get on it with like a 4 to 6 week timeline within a budget, and hopefully have it on the market. Excuse me. The pollen. Hopefully have it on the market within a month and a half or 2 months because I don't want to pay all these carrying charges. So it's important that you set a calendar and you stick to it. Now, here's tip number 4. You have to be flexible and you have to give yourself some wiggle room, primarily because not everything is under your control. If you're doing all the work yourself, well, then you've got control over the time and the budget. But if you are hiring contractors who are notoriously late, over schedule, oh my God, don't get me started. You have to give yourself some wiggle room. You know, maybe it rains on the day that you planned on painting outside. Well, that's got to be rescheduled. So all kinds of things like the weather, like the availability of the contractors, getting the permits, the time it actually takes to do the work, all of that is going to come in play. So you have to keep in mind that your budget, as we talked about in video number 1, and your calendar, your timeline, is not always set in stone, regardless of how bad you need it to be. All right. What's the old saying? The urgency on your part does not constitute an emergency on mine. That's the way a lot of contractors work. You get on their schedule. You have to be there when they're there and to get the work done. So that is number 3. Set a calendar. All right, set your timeline, know what you got to do, get in, get out as quickly as possible, then be willing to offer some wiggle room, not only the calendar, but on the budget that we talked about in video number 1, because nothing ever goes as planned in real estate. Hey, once you do finish your fixer-upper and you're ready to sell it, I want you to keep in mind 2 really good friends of mine who sponsor this show. The first one is Jacob Title. Stan McDonald and his team at Jacob Title, they truly are your hometown closers. They will get your deal put together quickly, professionally, with minimal headache and involvement on your part. And if you mention to Stan that you heard about it on the program here, he's going to knock $100 off your closing costs. The other side, the other folks that we work with a lot are Steve and Allen at the mortgage firm. If you're selling a house, one of the things that you can do is help a buyer get funded. you want to sell your house, you want to help these folks get financed, refer them to Stephen Allen at the mortgage firm. They have a variety of mortgage programs. They're the most knowledgeable folks in the business. And if you mention to Stephen that you heard it on the program, he will knock $450 off your appraisal fee. So there you go. Those are the tips, the 4 we've got so far. Be realistic about your project scope, set a budget, set a calendar, and be ready to be flexible. Give yourself some wiggle room when it comes to the money and time. And remember, if I can do anything for you when it comes to real estate, 679-0704, or email me, tim@Revolved. You can also find me online and on Facebook, okay? Hope that was helpful. I want you to get out there, have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.